So far, we've done two uh, retorts to the Project 2025 agenda. By far, the overt actions against equality in the Department of Labor section and the subsequent offices that are to be realigned or readjusted, or in this case, eliminated. This one is the most troubling. We're going to go down line by line what is in this Reform Act. Hold on to your socks, folks. This is a direct attack against generational wealth in the African American community. Do not get it twisted. Understanding that overt racism is a very real thing. If you ever need an example of that, just go ahead to the project2025.org webpage and see what I'm talking about. I don't have to make this stuff up. This is from the Heritage Foundation, the Federalist Society. Authors of the actual transition plan have put their names on these pieces of actions. These are things that they freely think about, and that is something every American has the ability to do. But reading into the details of what they say right from the beginning is enough to cause some alarm, because it makes a bunch of assumptions about a particular race or particular identity, and wants to eliminate any facet of it from government, any protections that were afforded or allowed through previous administrations, through all of the other uh, incarnations of all the obstacles that those races face. It just blows that away and says the reason behind it is not because societies is discriminatory against you, it's because you choose to be black. Just read it for yourself. Project2025.org, and I got it right here. I'm going to go down the list. This is going to knock your socks off. Jonathan Berry has attached his name to this particular piece of Project 2025 and its desire to restructure the Labor Department, the Department of Labor in the United States. The mission statement is something out of what you would hear at any political major stomping point. It doesn't alienate anyone, but that's about it as far as where I agree with anything in there. It's like setting yourself up for the okie doke. And we're going to go ahead and read into it. But immediately after that mission statement, you begin to see what the targets are in the overview. So let's take it step by step here. The mission statement is a promise, a conservative promise to restore the American worker to the star of the show when it comes to his or her own life, the protagonist. You want to be in charge of your own destiny, self-determination. That role that the labor policy plays in the promise is twofold, it goes on to state. Say we want to give them rewarding, well-paying, self-driven careers and restore the family supporting job as a centerpiece of the American economy. It goes into what the traditions are in the Judeo-Christian world. Recognize the fruits of your labor. Having family first, service to God, neighbor, and family. It also talks about the American work ethic. Okay, we can agree to disagree there. There are still some lazy people out here, so let's not sugarcoat this. But it wants to give that dignity back. Nothing in the mission statement is overtly wrong. But then it shifts its focus to the agencies that it wants to identify as the root causes for all the problems in the Labor Department and how labor is administered in the United States. And it sets out the following departments: the Department of Labor, the EEOC, which is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the National Labor Relations Board, the National Mediation Board, the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Services, as well as the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation. After identifying these departments, this think tank went ahead and decided to blame diversity, equity, inclusion efforts, as well as critical race theory, as the reason the Labor Department needs to be overhauled. Yeah, the first two bullet points on this entire overhaul is blamed on critical race theory and diversity, equity, inclusion efforts. Can't make this stuff up. So, and this is where the think tank goes left. it's not the discrimination or the racism that is a problem here. It's the fact that so many ethnic and minority groups are self-identifying. So we have to eliminate the identification that you're classifying yourself as, and then we wouldn't have any need for any of these outreach programs to stop the discrimination that we don't think exists. Bottom line.
His big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Well, so much for the theory of racially unambiguous identity being the problem for labor, because this former president has already classified some types of jobs as black jobs, and it is those jobs that are being taken by illegal border crossings. Now, we can have a broader discussion on what is actually happening at the border and what it means for those immigrants going to sanctuary cities like Chicago and New York and receiving funds from taxpayer dollars to exist and to benefit from programs that were geared toward American citizens. This is a different argument altogether. What we're talking about here is that this president is deeming those jobs, and we know what those jobs are, and those are the ones that black people should aspire to get. This is nasty work. There is no spin on this. There's just nothing here but overt racism and saying, get yourself back on that farm. And it gets even worse. This agenda seeks to pass an executive order. That means from the president, no debate, to ban federal tax dollars going into the study of critical race theory, particularly the effects of immigration on the African American community. That is a subject that would be identified as a critical race theory. There was specific damage being done to inner city African American, highly populated areas by illegal immigration. But we can't study it. This is nasty work, folks. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. And I really want people to understand this. This is not something about just merely being anti-immigration. No, I'm anti stop spending taxpayer money on non-taxpayer citizens, especially when the taxpayers are funding this thing are not getting the benefits of their tax dollars. This is nasty work.
He said, first off, he said he's going to hire a black female for vice president, and that not it just skipped over. What about white females? What about any other group? It just when you go down that route, you take mediocrity, and that's what they have right now as vice president.
Are you suggesting she was a DEI hire?
100%, she was a DEI hire.
Language is everything. You have a sitting representative calling the vice president of the United States a DEI hire. Project 2025's agenda, first thing, is to address the DEI revolution, as they deem it, meaning that minorities and diversity is the problem within this organization, that these people don't get into these positions by the merit of their skill set or their training or their education. No, they got there because they were black. It is nasty, nasty work, and people take some time to read this stuff. You can't possibly understand the depths at what's already being pushed in currently. You don't have to wait for this agenda to happen. It's already present in our very halls of Congress. Please understand that reading is fundamental. Take some time and check it out. There is so much more in just this section. I'm not going to get into it tonight, but I'm definitely wanting you guys to check out this project and let me know what you think. I'll talk to you later.